Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley showcase. Got to tie up some loose ends on Hot Wheels Premium in preparation for the best and most disappointing new model polls for Hot Wheels Premium. That means I got to get to the final mixes. And what I'm going to showcase today is the final mix of Team Transport. We have a new casting that I need to include in this list. All the models are sitting over to the side so I can do that video, but I got to fill in these gaps. That's one model. We'll get to that in a second. But we also have a few other stragglers. I think Pop Culture's done. Boulevard is done. We're all good there. But there's a couple others. We had the diorama set with the Sentra. I've never found it. Mattel hasn't sent it. And since I don't have it, they did send me the model, so I can definitely include that, fill in that gap for Hot Wheels new models. But then there's two final car culture mixes. I'm going to give you a quick preview. I think we've seen Ronin Run. I don't have the models from Ronin Run, but Mattel was nice enough to send over the new casting so we can include it in the new models. And like I said, this video is coming. But that's the Pandem RX-7. That is one new casting. That's the only new casting in the Ronin Run mix, which is going to be hitting shortly. Like within the next week or two, I think we start seeing it in stores. So that's going to count. I wanted to make sure that all the 2022 new models were in there, which also means, because it's a new model, it is the Chase in that mix too. They did send this over. I'm going to rip that open in a separate video for the new models. So we have the Chase version of the Pandem RX-7, which is very cool. Consider that a little preview if you haven't seen it, but I think it's been out there. And then there's one other mix that we need to get to that actually will not be released until 2023, but I want to make sure it's all here. They made sure I could have the new models for the entire 2022 year so we can start fresh for the Lamley Awards next year. And that is the Drag Strip Demons mix. I've shown pictures of this before. There's only one new cast. We'll get to that in a second, but I thought I'd give you a quick little preview. Got the Nova Gasser here, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. Very cool. This is a really cool mix. And I wanted to make sure that folks could see it. And, have a look at it. We're not going to be voting on these models. Well, the new castings, yes, it's part of the new casting poll, but I just wanted to show you what's coming just to tie up the 2022 year. That's the Plymouth Duster, which is very cool. When I do this actual showcase, I'll dig into some of these older castings of some of these cars, because some of them go back to like the old vintage racing and stuff like that. Here's the classic Bug. So this is the first VW we've seen in this kind of, drag strip themed set, but it's nice to see this one here. It makes sense. Slug Bug, which is kind of cool. I always say kind of cool. It's very cool. One that I think I like the most was this one. It's the 65 Dodge Coronet. This is a casting that I just adore. AFX car, with the funny, with the wheels pushed together, but that's how it was. And we'll talk about that because there's several versions of this one. I've showcased it before, but I'll get it out for the showcase. But in Ram Chargers deco, and this is actually based on a real car, which is, Ram Chargers, I'm sure if you're a dragster fan, you're familiar with this, or an NHRA. And this one, that Ram Chargers deco hit a few cars, and this is one of them, which I love. See, didn't say kind of cool there. I love. Here is the new casting. And this will be included in that premium video once we do it. It's the 33 Willys, so a classic drag car. So this one is neat. We'll get into the details on this one. And like they did, except for the first mix, the new casting is the Chase in black. And there it is right here. Here I can actually, why not put them together so you can see them. First, you can see the regular and the Chase. Get my fingers out of the way there. Kind of cool, right? That's definitely a different looking Chase with the rust touches on it than we're used to. But it does work in there. And then there, I'll give you the last two Chases. Both new models. So you will see these opened for the new model feature that I will do. So that's kind of cool too. All right. Done that. Let's get these out of the way. All right, let's talk Team Transport. Let's get this last mix done. I've got it. Let's feature it. Actually got two of these, this one and this one from Mattel. They didn't have the IWC, so Wheel Collectors sent that to me. There's a link down below to their store. You definitely want to check them out. But let's get to the boat, right? I've asked about this on Instagram. I was actually surprised. A lot of you really like it. I'm not a huge fan of boats. I was a little disappointed myself to see a boat in this premium mix, but as far as boats go, it's probably nice. Now, the biggest complaint that I've seen, I was surprised that, it's funny, I didn't even think about it. It's on a flatbed. When do you see a boat on a flatbed? probably never, right? You might see it on something like this, but I don't know. Maybe we'll try and put it on that trailer once we get it. But let's go ahead and open this up. There is the artwork. This is hitting stores now. There's that. I have not seen it in stores, but many of you have told me that you have seen it. So there is that. Let's just get this thing opened up. Speedways is the name of this. No, classic hydroplane. Sorry. And I think this is a new casting. It will not be part of the new models because it's not licensed. But all right, so this. Okay, so we got different pieces here. So a real quick look at the truck. I mean, on its own, this is fantastic. The Hypo Hydro looks really cool. It's unlicensed, but it's classic. It's a really cool truck. I think this is maybe the second time we've seen it. I can't remember which hauler it was, but I know we've seen it a couple of times, at least once. So that is the Speedways. But let's talk about this boat. So we've got this little plastic piece, and the boat, I guess, just kind of. Oh, it's definitely okay. So it's got these notches here. There we go. Let's get. So it's got these notches in it, and the boat fits on it. And then I guess this just balances. Oh, it stays. Oh, here. Sorry. I'm just kind of playing here, forgetting about the video. So it does fit. I mean, it does kind of stay on there, locks in, and then, I mean. Somehow they've made it so that it actually kind of sits in place. That's kind of cool. So, I mean, again, but it's on a flatbed, which doesn't make a ton of sense. Now I'm having a hard. There we go. They've just built it to kind of customize to that flatbed, and then it sits just like that. But let's take a look at the boat. Move that out of the way. Boat's nice. All metal. It's got the plastic piece on the bottom to hold in, obviously, to show the propeller. On one hand, awesome. By itself, it's cool. I don't care much about a boat. It's got some good weight to it because it's all metal. On the second hand, it's a premium boat, and just let's not put it in some mixes. Maybe you can put it in Boulevard for something. I don't know. I myself, like, fine, they're being creative. I'm glad it's a nice replica of a boat. It's not a boat with wheels like you might see in the basic range. It's okay. All right, I'm gonna put that over here. We're gonna try and see if we can't. No, I can't put it back together again. All right, let's get to the IWC set. IWC, if you're not familiar, hopefully if you're a Hot Wheels fan, you are now. This is actually the IWC headquarters in Switzerland. In the background of this set, IWC is a Swiss watchmaker, and they have had a cool deal going with Hot Wheels for a while now. I think the first IWC Deco car was in Team Transport just a couple of years ago. Here's the car. Forgot the transporter. It's in one of my drawers somewhere. But here is the car, the SL. A very, very cool car. And based on an actual IWC car, an actual Mercedes that they own, and race in classic races like Goodwood, that sort of thing. So we have already seen this one. Then they did a kind of a basic version of it. It's a little bit different, but for the basic range. Essentially the same casting. Obviously, they changed up the deco, simplified it just a little bit. The model itself, it's pretty much the same, I think, but it's got some changes, right, to make it a $1 model. So that's the second version. Then we have this one, for those who were lucky, the special limited edition that IWC was giving to, I think, people at Goodwood or something like that. It's actually the same car, but Zamek version. Everything's the same except it's unpainted, and it comes in this acrylic case. IWC sent this to me, and I definitely cherish that. Very, very cool model to have. But there is one even more rare, and it's the one they did with multiple pieces that they actually was an exclusive. I think less than 50 made. They did with a special Hot Wheels watch. So you had to buy the watch, which I think was, I don't know, 15 grand or something like that to get the car, which it now predates. We're going to see the actual casting in Hot Wheels Elite, essentially the same casting. All right. Anyway, I'm just going on and on and on, but let's get to this version. This is really cool. Let's open it up. Hauler is the Fleet Street. Obviously, it's the AMG GT3. Nice to see this casting. In a new deco, I think we've seen it in basic in a particular deco, but we've never, only in premium. I think it was, they use the same deco in car culture and then in a diorama set, the Mercedes set. So truck looks fantastic. IWC Racing deco again on this one. Very, very clean, super sharp with the AMG. They have a deal going with Mercedes, right? Or with AMG especially. You see that with IWC, with Lewis Hamilton races for them with IWC as well. He's one of the brand ambassadors. Tom Brady is too. It's really cool to have this in the Hot Wheels world, and it's cool to see IWC embracing the Hot Wheels stuff. But check this thing out. A lot of people have been commenting on how cool this car is. The deco is awesome from the side, but it's from the top that it really takes off. Look at that watch on the roof. I mean, it is just so cool. So it's an updated version of the SL, right? It's essentially the same deco, but done a little bit differently, just a more modernized version. I don't know if they actually own a GT3, an AMG GT3, but this one with the 10 spokes and everything else, it just is fantastic. IWC Racing on the front. I love this. And it's really nice to see this casting really get some proper treatment. I think that is one of the best of the year. I really think that's cool. That IWC, that gray and that black, I just love that color combination. All right, Group B. Let's do this. There is the artwork for a classic Group B Hot Wheels Rally hauler. We saw this in the Ford set, right, from a year or two ago, and the MG Metro 6R4, another Group B that surprised a lot of people. This is so cool. The fact, this is like when Hot Wheels was doing Laurels and stuff, and it was like, can you believe it? Who would have thought that Hot Wheels would be doing like a Nissan Laurel, a Japanese exclusive car? And now it's like, who would have thought that Hot Wheels would do a Metro 6R4 Group B car? It's just insane. It's so cool. And I know our friends in the UK are just beside themselves. This is like the Holden that Hot Wheels did in Boulevard. Trying to get that in Australia is a tough deal. And now it's like trying to get this, the 6R4 in the UK, is a tough deal. All right. Well, let's move the car off of the trailer and let's just look at the van, the Rally hauler. It's so close. It's got pieces of a Chevrolet. It's got pieces of a Ford. I think they wanted to do this unlicensed. There was a specific reason for it. By doing it unlicensed, they can combine it with, say, an MG Metro 6R4 on one set, and then they can combine it with a Ford on another, and maybe I'm sure we're going to see maybe a VW, we're going to see a Chevrolet, who knows, but they need to have these. I know they've done some licensed trucks and haulers, but I think by keeping these unlicensed, they can run it with any other car. If it were a Ford, I don't think Chevrolet would want to be towed by a Ford in a set. All right, before we move on, let's see if we can tow the boat here. Obviously, the notches aren't going to work perfectly because it was built for the other hauler. But if we just kind of balance it on here, I mean, it's kind of there. There we go. It's not perfect. The weight of the boat is actually pushing the trailer down just the way it sits, but there we go. Now it's proper. Oh, it's not absolutely logical, but who cares? We want to talk about this one. 6R4 Group B rally car. As far as the details, I heard from the team at Eibach that there are some Easter eggs here. I'm not entirely sure what they are. If some of you have found, I don't know if you have to like open up the car. I don't know if it's like in the back, but it has the roll cage built in. Obviously right-hand drive. Mark Jones, I think, designed this one, and you can see like he's been really creative with that front. I don't know, what do you call that piece there in the front? Is it a spoiler? It's definitely not a bumper. I don't know. But that plastic piece, they're able to play with that a little bit, create the brake by using that. It seems like it's its own piece, right? I don't see any other red plastic anywhere else in the car. So that's kind of interesting. But they went all out to make this thing. We'll have to do a Group B video with other Group B models. But this is a neat creative option, and I'm very happy. Now we have that gap. We fill that in with the others, and we can go full premium and actually start voting on the best and most disappointing. So that video is coming. We'll showcase all of them. It is rich with good stuff. Holy cow. But we'll get to that. You guys tell me what you think. Which is your favorite of these sets? Did you like those? Did you like that little preview I gave you of the upcoming Ronin Run and Drag Strip Demons? Lots of good stuff. IWC. You know what? I get it about the boat. Not my thing, but something different. Thanks, everybody. Bye.